Hello, Kevin. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Woo, that's good.
How about that? I made one finally.
Well, hey, that's okay. That's why I'm recording them. It's so that we have these for future reference so I can just watch myself again and again and again.
Cool.
I know.
Um, how many people have been basically, pardon me, I'm looking at the other computer too. I'm not ignoring you.
That's okay.
Um,
I've got three screens up. So,
how
um,
many people have been on lately that,
not many, but that's kind of what I had expected. Not a lot of questions because nobody knows what to ask yet.
okay.
So during the first one, I had one person, I had my club member, Janet, with me.
Okay.
And then during the second one, nobody else came. But I had a question from Roy Wilcox and Jana Lane. So that's what I went
Okay.
over in that second one.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah. I just, one of the guys from our small group that meets tomorrow night at church, asked me if there was we finished up a series not yesterday, the week before, and we were just on that for that series. We were just kind of going over the sermon notes, and he can't find them posted anywhere, and I'm
Oh,
not
shoot.
either. But so I will try to give you most of my attention here while I'm watching the pretty pictures fly by as I scroll.
Okay, sounds good. Hello, who do we have there? Says Jenna. Nice to see you. I can see that you're muted. Let me unmute you quick. Maybe.
I think she can do it herself right below the list of
There
names.
you are.
Yep.
There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you, Jenna?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Just kicking along, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry I missed your first couple meetings.
Hey, no worries. It's like I was telling Kevin right now, there's people don't even know what to ask because it's so new. Maybe they have one or two people even in pathways. So it's not something that I expected a lot of people in right away. It was but it was good to get those recorded and just kind of walk through the first basic steps. So I did get your question here. So I'm going to go to my other computer. Kevin and I are both working on multiple screens right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to post that into here just so that I can quick access that. Okay, yes, I can help you out with that.
Thanks.
So we'll give it a few more minutes and yeah, go from there. So Janet, your email address says Pipestone. Do you live in Pipestone?
No, I actually live in Brandon.
Oh, okay.
I work for a company called Pipestone Holdings.
Oh,
So that's where it's located in Pipestone, Minnesota. The headquarters are, but
got it.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I grew up in Laverne.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
I went to
that's pretty
school in
close.
Edgerton, and so that's all like
Ah,
right there. So I was like, oh, Pipestone. I got all
Yeah.
excited and
yeah.
giddy about it. I don't know.
So I work for the pig management side of
Okay,
the Pipestone system. So
great.
Yep.
How long have you been doing that?
I just celebrated 9 years on Friday. So,
Wow,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yep, I celebrate 5 years at USD in June. I'm going, wow, that really went fast.
Goes fast. It does.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, how's your back feeling?
A little bit better.
Yeah.
Still doing physical therapy. Some of the exercising helped, but I'm already on pretty healthy medication for my shoulder, so I'm living with a little bit of pain with the physical therapy helping. I don't want any more drugs or surgeries or anything on my back. I haven't just on my shoulder but I don't want any more surgeries.
No, I don't blame you. Surgery is no fun.
I don't think so, at least. No.
My dad, he had his rotator cuff. My father had his rotator cuff done on his dominant arm. He's a carpenter, mind you.
Okay.
And then 3 months later had his other ankle fused. So he has two fused ankles. They don't move anymore. And then he had the rotator. So he was, yeah.
Not good.
Not good at all. No.
No. Jenna, did you get my email from did I forward one from a Ravi guy? Have you heard anything from or had a chance to respond to him?
No, I asked my company for a few more open dates.
Okay.
To give options back to that team.
Okay.
So I'm working on that.
Okay, cool. Because I just remembered it now when I saw your name popped. I go, crud. I knew I was forgetting something.
That's okay.
But yeah, if they can work something for a demo meeting over there. If they were in our area or in our district, I'd be all over that. But I don't want to step on their toes. And if they're in that area, I did tell them that there's a couple clubs in Brookings. If they were desperate, I could maybe try and ask someone up there if they could show up at a demo meeting. But hopefully he can, Ravi or however pronounce it, can get things lined up. He's got my email if he needs help, or too. So
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for doing that.
not a problem.
All right, so it is 8 o'clock, and I will let you know, technically, we only have 40 minutes because that's how long my Zoom meetings can go since this is a free account. But if we need to continue this conversation, I can schedule another meeting for right now. We can just schedule one back to back if it takes that long. If we get into some really juicy conversation, we can always do that. But otherwise, expect for it to be closer to 40 minutes than the full hour.
Cool.
All right, excellent. So you're both here, which is double the amount of participants I've had for any of my meetings so far. Yes, and I think that we might have a couple more joining us. So if they chime in, we're just going to roll with it. I'll welcome them because that's what I do. I like to talk. That's what I do. But the two questions you both had asked tonight, Kevin, your question about the VP of Ed rule, and then Jenna, you had asked about looking at the pending request and member progress. So these are both really good questions now that we're starting to get more members involved with Pathways, and we can kind of see where everybody is. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go right here. So share screen, there we go. Okay, so can you all see my screen here with Toastmasters?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to log in. I'm going to ask if you would both mute your lines right now. That way we don't get any feedback in case somebody else joins. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Oops. But feel free to unmute if you have a question, no worries. I just want to make sure we don't get any feedback for the recordings. So we're all familiar with how to log into Pathways. We're going to go to Basecamp. So Kevin, to answer your question pretty directly, you had said, I'm going to read it through here. Have you covered the VP Education's role in submissions to the TI website? No, you emailed me before about if they only needed to submit when a level was achieved, wondering if that's correct. Something every speech needs to have the VP of Ed submit information. Maybe easier to recruit if Pathways does not need weekly updates. Okay, so that's the gist of what we're getting at. So I went through the master Q&A, and the question that was asked in there was, will the Basecamp manager, which is what you're looking at there, the VP of Education, need to input members' speech titles and dates in Club Central when applying for level completions as we do now in the current education program or the new designations? So does that kind of cover what you were wanting to know there?
I'll unmute here for a second. I heard once it sounded like after every speech there was going to have to be something entered, and that's what kind of got a few people. That's what maybe freaked out the lady that was our VP Education actually did not renew this last time.
Right.
Granted, she was busy at work, but I don't know if that was freaking her out because it for a little bit it sounded like after every speech you're going to have to go in and type something, and then, not knowing how long that would take, and then I will mute myself again.
Got it. So the answer to that is no, you will not be asked to select the award the member is eligible for, but you will be required to input any additional information. So long and short, no, you do not have to input something after every single speech. Your VP of Education doesn't have to go through and say, oh, you did this one project for this icebreaker. If there's 3 projects per level, they only have to submit for the award. So when I finish my level 1 and I submit for that level 1 award, that's when the VP of Education will get that submission file saying you have someone that's wanting an award, you have someone that's got a level achievement. That's the point when the VP of Education will pop in to do that role. And it is more work, I think, ongoing, but when you consider how much time is put to get the awards now. I can't see that it's really that much different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that's just the one thing I was kind of wondering on. And also right now, the way my understanding is any club officer can submit an education award. Is that going to be, I know they say president, vice president education, and secretary should, but can anyone do that that's an officer listed through TI?
So anybody can submit for the award, but that's at a club member level. But the people that can approve are your base camp managers, and that's only going to be your president, vice president of education, and secretary. Nobody else will have that designation. Those are the three, as you know, these are the three officers that are required to have a club in good standing. So those are the three that are going to have access to base camp manager. But no, they will not be letting sergeant at arms, vice president membership, none of them will be base camp managers. So that's
okay.
There. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Excellent. And then Jenna, your question was more along the lines of looking at the pending request and the member progress. This one, it's still kind of, I'll say kind of conceptual, simply because we don't have a lot of pending requests right now, but it does kind of go along with what Kevin was asking. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in as Yap and Yote. We're going to continue there. And if you do have multiple clubs or multiple designations, this is where you can change that. And I'm going to log in as base camp manager. If you've not played around in here, it's kind of fun, but I love the graphs and charts, and that's kind of my whole world and my job. So what you're going to look at here, they've got the three different, I guess, modules, we'll say. The manager tutorials is going to be very important for your incoming officers, since we're all learning together and we're all trying to figure the system out. You can use these now, these manager tutorials, but you're also going to want to reference those for your incoming officers, your VP of Ed, president, and your secretary, just so that they're aware of what's going on here. They're very straightforward. I mean, you can just kind of take a look at them quick. The overview, it talks about the level completion, tracking progress, all of that is available right in here. Along with, if you have people that are selecting the printed materials instead of using the online method, how to go about that. Chances are we're not going to deal too much with that, maybe one or two, but definitely not everybody in your club is going to be doing that. But this kind of goes over that. We're going to focus more on the base camp side for these tutorials, unless we have specific questions about that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back here. So that's the managed tutorials. So the pending requests, this is where you're going to get that information. And if somebody has a level completion request, or maybe they need to verify an outside project, those are all that's going to pop up in here. So an outside project being something I completed, like a blog that's not completed during a club meeting, something like that, where you're going to have to verify. That's going to all pop up in here. It's going to be requested by the different types, the options, and that's when you, as the Vice President of Education, go in and verify. Now, again, the Vice President of Education is going to want to submit for awards too. That's when the President and Secretary step in to submit for those awards. That's why those three have that level designation. So again, right now it's kind of conceptual, just because we can't see all of the awards that are being submitted. We can't say, oh yes, we've got 8 people that have submitted for a level 1. We just don't have anybody finishing yet. Though I have seen Wendy Couts from Montana. She completed her level 1 in 1 week. So we're considering her the first in Region 4 to have completed a level 1, and it does not surprise me, not one bit. So I'm gonna.
So my question is, when I go to log in and click on that tab, it gives me that you don't have access to this. Is it because I'm not assigned as a base camp manager yet, or because I'm secretary right now and I'm moving into the VP of Ed?
Okay,
so coming this June or July. So that's where my question was coming from.
Got it. Okay, so you're going back all the way to. I'll just go back. You're going back to this. Like you're not logging in here. Oh, can you unmute?
Yep, so my club comes up, and then I log in as base camp manager, and I was on the screen that you were just on, and when I click on pending request or member progress, that's when I get that message of restricted access. You're not allowed permission to go here.
Interesting.
So that's the little snapshot I tried to send you in an email.
Got it. Let's see if I got the snapshot. Oh. All right.
And I did some.
Which browser are you using?
I am in Microsoft Edge, I think.
Okay. I was,
Lindsay,
yeah.
Do you have to disable pop-ups for any of that?
I did both of those steps.
Okay.
I can try a different internet browser.
Try a different browser. See what happens. Like Chrome works well for me.
Okay.
I've heard, what is it? Chrome first, Firefox next, Internet Explorer after that.
Okay.
But I know Microsoft Edge has some functionality where it's not supported as well as other browsers, and that's just in general. But you do not have permissions to view the page.
I was saying I was doing some looking around in there, and it looked like another one of our members is assigned that role at the moment, maybe, or that's because he's VP of membership. So I wasn't sure, so I thought I would ask.
Sure. Well, and like I say, I've not encountered that before, but I'm sure somebody else has. And it might be, I mean, are you a member of multiple clubs or just one club?
Just one club.
Just one club. Okay. So, I mean, the fact that you're able to get into, I went for my mouse and I didn't need to. The fact that you're able to get into this says that at least you have access to this, because it wouldn't even show if you didn't have one of those three roles, secretary, VPE, or president. But as far as the pending requests and why you're not able to see that, I'm looking at your email on the screen. Sorry, that's why I keep turning my head. Restricted area. You do not have permission needed to view this page. I'm going to have to at least get back to you on that. I'll look through the master Q&A, and if we can't find anything in there, it might. And was this just today, Jenna? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So sometimes I worry, like if their browsers are down, like if since they just moved to their new location, maybe there was some downtime there. But if it was today, I can't foresee that being the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this to like the Pathways Guide group and just see if anybody else had this before and what the deal is, because you should not have restricted access because you're the secretary currently. You shouldn't have that. And then if you're transitioning to the VPE role, you definitely shouldn't have that either. So then you get the same thing when you go to the member progress tab here.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the only thing I can see is the tutorials, which has been helpful.
Well, that's good. That's something. It's good to have the tutorials because that's going to provide, like I say, a wealth of information. When you do get in there, what I had thought you had meant was that you couldn't see anything in here, and I found out that you have to do options. Whoops, I can't see because you all are in my way. Got to move you over here. And then refresh, and refreshing updates every single one of these graphs that you're going to see. Sorry, I'm in dashboard number 4. But if you go to individual progress, there's multiple little dashboards in here. There we go. And in order to see any of them, you have to refresh. Because when I logged in, I'm like, I know that I'm in a path, and I couldn't see it, and I was freaking out thinking something went wrong. And then I, read the instructions, and it says refresh. And so I did and found that I am able to get into all of these. So you should have access to this along with the VPE and president. So that's what's going on there. So what you're seeing right now is up-to-date live 2 time USD area YAP and YOTS data, which I don't mind showing you since I'm also the president of the club. But this is kind of what's going on here. Obviously, we have no level 2s in progress because nobody's completed a level 1 yet. And then again, level 3s, level 4s, level 5. So it's going to become, like you read in the trainings, I'm sure, in the manuals, much more important when you're tracking these progresses, especially for the DCP. And going forward, as soon as the traditional education program is phased out, this is going to become a lot more dynamic. There's going to be a lot more to look at and a lot more excitement in there. Things are going to change. And if you're a geek about this like I am, you're going to go in every morning and be like, oh, who completed level 1? Who did level 2? Where are my requests? And that's exactly what's going to happen to me, even though I'm going to be not president here in a few months. But anyway, you can also check your path progress. And this just lets you know how far people are progressing, and every one of these. So registered and in progress. Again, you can refresh every single one of these individually. You can export these to Excel, which is, I love it. The view details is going to pull up. Let's see. Are you able to see this one that I pulled up here?
No.
Nope. Okay, hang on one second. New share dashboard. Share screen. How about now? Does it say status of paths? Ah, bummer. Let's try one more time. Let's do this one.
Yep.
There we go. Perfect. So this is going to be more in-depth information, so we can see the grand summary. I have 7 people that are currently registered in Pathways, 2 in Dynamic Leadership. I can see who they are. So Derek Zomer, Diana Baker, there's me right there. And you can see exactly where they are in progress, which is, again, kind of a good tool for vice presidents of education to have. You've got your little bar here, which you can print the chart, you can save it, you can show all the labels. That way you're aware of what they are. But again, Jenna, this is more just information. Once you get in and once we're for sure that you're able to see what you need to see in here. So that's what's going on with these. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this one. Oops. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to this so you can just all see me now instead. So that's, I mean, why you're not able to see that, I'm going to have to double check, but I will get back to you tomorrow at the latest on this. But yeah, I've not seen a restricted access before. So that's what's going on there. Did you have any questions about what I just showed you? I mean, I know it's more informational, and it's once you have somebody in there, I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really wanted to complete my level 1, but then realized I have to give 2 more speeches and do an evaluation. And
that's one of the questions I had, I guess. So
yeah.
Right now, when someone does an evaluation, will there be an evaluation form for that too? Or how does that all work?
So if I have to be an evaluator for my project is what you're saying?
Right. Yeah. Well, if so today, let's say I evaluate Joe's speech. Someone in my club is evaluating how I evaluate him. Is that still happening today?
So there are projects like that. So I'm going to go ahead and log back into Toastmasters. I closed down it because why would I keep something open when I needed it again and waste time like that? So if I'm going in here,